So good afternoon everyone. We are the group 8 and we are the discussant of teaching literary appreciation skills. So when we say class, appreciation skills is a value of estimate to value to esteem, or in a simple words, the importance of one thing and being conscious of anything. Significance, desirability, or worth of. It is commonly known as a sensitive awareness and enjoyment by using the different in reading comprehensions. It is the ability to understand, enjoy, and evaluate works of literature. The literary appreciation refers to the evaluation of works of imaginative literature and as an intellectual or academical exercises. In this process, the reader interprets, evaluates, or classifies a literary work with a view to determining the artistic merits or demerits of such a work. Appreciation skills are includes the verbalizing emotional response. Is it is giving another words to describe an emotions using not only a basic words to let the child express emotions or using spoken word. A new brain imaging study by psychologists reveals why verbalizing our feelings makes our sadness and anger pain less intense. Now, the second one is the identifying with characters. When you write a character analysis, you must define character's role. Identifying the character type in personality traits can help you better understand what the larger role of the character is within the story. The character either plays a major role or a central element to the story, or a minor role to support the major character in the stories. Now, the third is the identifying sensory impressions. Sensory imagery is a literary device writers employs to engage readers' mind on multiple levels. Sensory imagery explores the five human senses, which is the sight, the sounds, taste, touch, and smell. Now, in the fourth, understanding figurative language. Figurative language is when you describe something by comparing it to something else. The words or phrases that are used don't have a literary meaning. It uses metaphors, allusions, similes, hyperboles, and other examples to help describe the object you are talking about. In the fourth, the identifying tone and mode. Mode and tones are two literary elements that help create the main idea of a story. The mode is the atmosphere of the story, and the tone is the author's attitude towards the topic. We can identify both by looking at the setting, character details, and work choice. While tone is all about the author, mode is all about you, the reader. Mode is how a book made the reader feel. This could be an overall feeling the reader has of a complete work, but it can also be the mood you feel in each different senses. Now, in enjoying humor, it is likely the entertainment part or simply the enjoyable part, which can be make more amazing while reading. In appreciation skills, humor let the readers to expose their interest and helping them to easily gain knowledge. Humor is a literary tool that makes audience laugh or that intends to induce amusement or laughter. It provokes is to break the monotony, boredom, and tension and make the audience nerves relax. The writer uses different techniques, tools, words, and even pulse sentence in order to bring to light new and funny sides of life. Appreciating poetry in prose works. In literature, the basic purpose of prose in writing is to convey an idea, delivery information, or tell a story. Prose is the way to a writer to fulfill her basic promise to the reader to deliver a story with characters, settings, conflicts, a plot, and a final payoff. Poetry, while poetry is a type of literature that conveys a thought, describes a scene, or tells a story in a concentrated lyrically arrangement of words. Poems can be structured with rhyming lines and meter, the rhythm and emphasis of line based on the syllabic beats. Also guys, literary appreciation skills develop recreatory reading. Recreatory reading. It can be equated with literary appreciation's ideas or gaining pleasures. When the term recreatory reading are used, however, the implications is for enjoyment, which is reading to relax, reading to while away time in pleasurable way, reading only those selections that interest you without the pressures with having an account to somebody of what you read. So, aside from the sheer joy of exercising the imagination, research shows reading for pleasure improves literacy, social skills, health, and learning outcomes. It gives people access to culture and heritage and empowers them to become active citizens who contribute to economical and social development. So, recreatory reading has its benefits. The first is increase children's knowledge, allows children to practice and improve the reading skills, stimulates their imaginations, leads to higher achievement skills, promotes positive attitudes towards reading, allows those who participate in this activity to become accelerated readers. So, class, there are many strategies and activities to gain literary appreciation skills and develop creativity in pupils. It it categorized into the listening, uh, listening, speaking, oral interpretation, dramatization, reading and writing, and also the arts. I am discussing the first and the others are should discussed by my group mates. In one, listening and speaking, oral reading by the teachers, and oral reading by the pupils. Oral reading fluency is the ability to read connected text quickly, accurately, and with expressions. In doing so, there is no noticeable cognitive effort that is associated with decoding the words on the page. Oral reading fluency is one several critical components required for successful reading comprehensions. Oral reading records indicate students' progress and response to reading instructions, identify current needs, and indicate the student's overall reading proficiency. Oral reading records also helps establish reading levels so that you understand where to place a student in reading groups. Tape films selection, cassettes, disc, video film, and radio. It is also used in literary appreciation skills. It is used it is device use can deliver more accurate information to the learners for them to better understanding regarding of any topics. It also serves and give an example for easily engagement in learning process. Now, panel discussions. It is the interaction of the teachers and students while lessons are about to discuss. The teachers are explaining, discussing, however, the pupils are supposedly the learners in their participation is to ask important questions, and the teachers are about to respond and give clear feedbacks and clarify their points. And the last one are the dialogue. To being more understandable what the essence of the discussion, dialogue are the best way in conducting lessons. It is likely the panel discussion, but instead of speaking, dialogue are using such a play, a film, or etc., which have the collaboration of two or more participants.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is J. Kayahay. Now I will discuss the oral interpretation literature. Interpretation is a dramatical art, also commonly called uh, interpretive reading and dramatic reading. Through this term are more conservative and restrictive. In other words, oral interpretation is also a theater art or reader theater, in which a work literature is performed with manuscript in hand or more traditionally using tools in music stand, and especially chamber theater, which dispense with manuscript and user what may be described as essentialist costuming and stage lighting and suggestive scenery. Oral interpretation in storytelling is the art of bringing good literature to life. The presenter uses voice, eyes, posture, and gesture to create the words and feelings of the selection, maybe from a script or from memory. Use of props, costuming, and movements is encouraged. You must begin with an introduction that includes the author and the title of the selection. Oral interpretation in speech choir is judging with the emphasis on the voice dynamics of the presenter of the same time looking of the body language or the plot performance of the speaker. It is usually in place delivering of poem and ways it can be used in speeches, manuscript, impronto, and etc. Oral interpretation in reader theater provides a venue to accomplish a seeming daunting task. Student participation in reading, interpreting, discussing, writing, assisting in performing their own creative responses to a literacy, literacy work promotes a learning activity that leaves an indelible mark on their
Good afternoon. My topic is about dramatization. Dramatization is useful in developing play so that children can extend themselves creatively and constructively. With this, children are able to express and communicate their feelings and understanding in their own way. The following are the types of dramatization. Role-play is the changing of one's behavior to assume a role, either unconsciously to fill a social role or consciously to act out an adopted role. Chamber theater is a method of adapting literary works to the stage using a maximal amount of the work's originally text and often minimal and suggestive settings. Sketch is a short comics performance. Play, a work of drama usually consisting mostly of dialogue between characters and intended for theatrical performance rather than just reading. Pantomime or movie, a types of musical comedy stage production designed for family entertainment. It employs gender-crossing actor and combines topical humor with a story more or less based on a well-known fairy tale and folktale. Pageant is a beauty contest or is an elaborate form of entertainment consisting of historical scenes in colorful costume.
Teaching literary appreciation skills. Drawing or sketching. A sketch is a rapidly executed freehand drawing that is not usually intended as a finished work. Coloring or painting. Painting and coloring is that painting is an illustration or artwork done with the use of paints, while coloring is an act or process which applies colors. Whittling or sculpture. Whittling may refer either to the art of carrying shapes out of raw wood using a knife or a time occupying. Making diorama. A making diorama is miniature three-dimensional scene or example in a museum in which models of figures are arranged against a background. Making mobiles. Mobile is a type of sculpture that is formed of delicate components which are suspended in the air and move in response to air currents or motor power. Making puppets. Puppetry, the making and manipulation of puppets for use in some kind of theatrical show. Paper folding or cutting is a process in which transparent sheet is folded and then a few cuts or folds are made. Papier mâche or paper mache is a composite material consisting of paper pieces or pulp, sometimes reinforced with textiles, bound with an adhesive such as glue, starch, or wallpaper paste.
So, good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Mary Claire Lim from B.Ed 302. So, my topic is all about reading and writing. So, when we say reading, it's the process of looking at the series of written symbols and getting meaning from them. It also, when we read, we use our eyes to receive written symbols and also we use our brain to convert them into words. And writing is a medium of human communication that involves the representation of a language with written symbols. So, here's the examples of reading and writing. Pre-reading, book report, changing the endings of story, writing a sequel, making scripts for dramatization, and writing original poems, stones, and easy. Number 1 is free reading with silent reading of pupil's choice. So, silent reading improves students' understanding because it helps them concentrate on reading rather than pronunciation. Silent reading also helps develop reading skills for a purpose as the focus is on understanding is the content. Number 2 is book report. A book report is an essay discussing the contents of a book written as a part of a class assignment issued to students in schools, particularly at the elementary school level. And number 3, changing the ending of the. So, the easiest way to change an ending story is to grab the story before it spirals out of control. And number 4 is writing a sequel. For writing a sequel, readers want to know what happened